I'm here at Veterans Memorial Park on the Bay and Magnolia here in Long Beach. Why am I here? Because of this week's Parsha. This is the Veterans Memorial Walk that is here to my side. We're right here on the beautiful bay. I want to talk about an aspect of this week's Parsha, double Parsha, Mattos-Massei, where Moshe Rabbeinu was told to avenge the sins of the people of Midian who caused Am Yisrael to sin. And Moshe was told, Nikom Nikmas, to avenge their sin and to go to war against Midian. Moshe Rabbeinu knew that both Midian was a place that had sheltered him for many years when he lived with Yisro and he married Yisro's daughter Tzipporah. But he also knew what Midian had done to Am Yisrael, both physically and spiritually, and he knew that he had to act. Moshe also knew that once he finished this war, he was going to die. And this would be his last act, and he didn't postpone it, he didn't push it off in any way. Moshe Rabbeinu knew. The Vilna Gaon says that when there's a koach hatuma, when there's a koach of impurity, it takes a koach of tuma, of tahora, of purity to fight it. We know this when the Gemara tells us that Bnei Israel asked for the Yetzer Hara of Avodah Zarah to go away, to be removed from them. So Hashem did it, but it had consequences. First of all, there was no nevuah. The prophets were not able to prophesize. And there was no Yetzer Hara for anything. So there were no children being born or anything of the sort. So the Vilna Gaon says that Moshe Rabbeinu's last act had to be this, because Midian was a koach hatuma, and it took the nevuah of Moshe Rabbeinu to combat that. And in order to get rid of the koach hatuma of Midian, they needed Moshe Rabbeinu to be there. So it literally would be his last battle, and he knew that it had to take place. But many of the Meforshim point out that Moshe did not hesitate, even though he had a history with Midian. He knew that he had to go to war. He didn't hesitate. It was a milchamta for Hashem. It was a milchamas Hashem, a war for God. And just like the veterans that are being honored by this walk and by this park behind me, who, whether there was a conscription or not in this country, have gone to war, have heard the call of duty, and have fought for the values of our country. We see this in Israel today. Many of those going to war, seeing the justness of the war, the reason why there's war. There's a very clear delineation of right and wrong, of good and bad, and we take off our hats and offer our gratitude to our veterans here and in Israel. Have a beautiful Shabbos, a second Shabbos of the 3 weeks, where we focus on Avas Chinam, focusing on our love for one another and for building a closeness to HaKadosh Baruch Hu.